When we replace those families, if you're not careful, you could mess up a lot of sheets. Another one that a lot of times people mess up is pick on that dimension. Let's say you wanted to, and remember, when you're in the tagging command, you got to hit escape 2 times before you could pick a dimension. A dimension, not a tag. That's a tag.
Oh, sorry.
That's a tag. That's a dimension. Now, I've seen lots of people say, oh, I don't want any dimensions on this sheet. So they'll right click and then say select all instances. And there's 2 choices: visible in the view and the entire project. Go ahead and click on entire project.
Oh, God.
Yeah. How many dimensions do you have selected right now? You have any idea? There's 2 ways to find out. One is to go up at the top. There's a little funnel called filter. Yep, it's on the toolbars. It's the contextual menu on the toolbar. So the end of the toolbars, filter. It looks like a funnel.
Oh, right here.
Right? If you picked on that, look what it would tell you. You've picked 19,000 dimensions and 1 constraint. All right, hit cancel. The other place to know that is look in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. You're going to see another copy of that filter.
Gotcha.
And I believe if you click on that little filter down there, it'll even open up the filter, the same filter dialog. Go click on that. See that? So the idea is that when I'm trying to drill home to you, there's never just one way to get there. Sort of like right-click, create similar, or CS. There's usually about 6 or 7 ways to do everything. And that's
the one down in the bottom makes it very easy to, if you're trying to select a window and you know you only got to get 4 elbows and the rest is other stuff. You look and that'll say 4 down in that corner. I use that bottom corner so much.
Yes. It's like looking at the tachometer in your car when you're dragging. You know, when you're racing, you're always looking at it. You keep an extra eye on down there just to make sure you don't have other objects selected. And I have known people who deleted those 19,000 dimensions, and it's usually late in the project, and it's not a good day. It's a real hard one to explain to the bosses. So be wary of that. If you did a window around your view, I don't care, just grab a bunch of stuff.
I clicked and I don't know what it's doing now.
So what it did was you just moved all the dimensions on all the sheets by a little bit because you clicked and dragged. Once again, it's another risky thing. It's why people don't want rookies on their job, because when a job's put together well, it's going to be instinctual for us to say, how can I get Tyler to help me more than he hurts me? And that is a difficult task to do with new Revit users.
It is very painful. It's the simplest thing to destroying the job. You know what I mean? It's moving a wall. That wall moves X amount of other objects, including ceilings.
I think they have a saying, and it says,
Revit
model. Hey, Brian.
I got to take a phone call.
Okay. What I heard is that the your Revit model is only as good as your weakest user.
Yeah. It's like I said, it can be something simple as deleting a handful of dimensions. We did the night stadium at Odell, and I would say it was within a week, maybe 2 weeks to print. And we had a external reference, which is, a Revit link. We had a file linked in that was the bowl, which contained all the seats so that it wouldn't blow up the other file, right? That file was removed. If that file was unloaded, it would go away, and when it came back, everything would come back. But because it was removed, every dimension and tag to everything in the bowl, every seat, every aisle was blown away. And I can tell you that was a week's worth of work. So,
I think those fellows in DC spent 3 weeks redimensioning every sheet, including the drafting views, when they accidentally deleted all the dimensions. So be careful, because the sword might, while it might be able to protect you, it can also cut your foot off. Okay? So what I was wanting you to do was I was wanting you to loop around that area, because I want to show you what ends up happening. I don't care if it's across. There you go. That's what I wanted you to do. Now go to your filter and hit the funnel. Look what you've selected. You've selected 3 dimensions, 13 duct fittings, 3 duct tags, 5 grids, match lines. You can see everything you selected. So then you could say check none, and you could say just the pipes, and then you could do something to just the pipes. You with me?
who's making the martini?
That's a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
It's a 40-ounce Bloody Mary in a Stanley Cup.
In the Stanley Cup. I hear you. All right, so we got your tag and your dimension. Ginger, were you going to pull up your inner ring? Did someone dimension the inner ring? Did you do that, Tyler?
No, Ginger said she wanted to do that one, so I was leaving that one for her.
All right, Ginger. You want to open it up? Share it.
Which floor plan?
What you have to do is you have to open up the mechanical file. And once you open the mechanical file, my recommendation is then you'll share your screen and we'll be able to see it. I'll kick it back to my screen, Tyler, so you can watch for a little bit. So while she's finding that, have you played with the systems at all, Tyler? Have you tried any of these commands?
I have not.
All right. It's sort of funny because if you start with the wrong template or the right template, what you're going to find is some things that you draw, like a duct, you might draw it and it's visible. But then you might decide to draw yourself a piece of pipe. And I draw this piece of pipe. And I want to draw this. This is my sanitary line. So I want to be minus 3 feet, a 6-inch pipe. And I draw that pipe and I say, uh-oh, it's giving me this warning down here. Okay? And sometimes, in all honesty, if you draw another type of pipe, let's say, okay, well, that pipe, I tried to draw it and it didn't come in. So okay, so maybe I have to draw one maybe at 9 feet. And then I would come down here. Now, before I draw that at 9 feet, I'm going to say, oh, this is my domestic cold water. Well, doggone, it's going to do the same thing. Same thing, but for different reasons. Okay? So what I'm going to show you is what happens is that first one, it's because our cut plane is not deep enough because we drew that pipe at minus 3 feet. However, we're only looking down to 0. So we would have to change at least this number to minus 4 feet. And there would be that pipe. Tell me why it's a single line.
Your detail?
There you go. That's what I want to hear.
I remember the cut plane from whenever I was trying to draw those stairs in the Jiffy Lube.
All right. Well, Smarty Pants, where's my other pipe at? Where's the other one I drew? I mean, if I go to the 3D view, there's going to be 3 pipes. There's 3 pipes. Why is that other pipe not showing up here? Well,
Is
I
it
might
still
go.
cut plain? I didn't see what you did.
Okay. I would typically go check it in here because this is an area where things can be turned off. But what it's actually doing is they applied a filter to this mechanical plan that turns domestic off. So when I turn that on, then I would have that out of that third pipe, and notice it's blue because it's cold water. And if I copied it and changed it to hot water, any guesses? It's going to turn red. This one here, however, you'll notice the hydronic supply and the hydronic return, they didn't do the same thing to. Now, you know from my drawings that I like to actually run in the shaded view. And unfortunately, most engineers don't realize that they could make this fill be a blue color and this fill be a red color, and they could fill these pipes and these ducts. Your homework assignment is to figure out how to put that color on there. And I will tell you that when you do it, that color will show up in both 3D and 2D views. Okay? That's a homework assignment for both you guys. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Ginger, and we're going to walk her through those dimensions so that you guys have both of those things. And then on Monday, you can give them to Paul and tell Paul he better get on his horse. He should have been out last week.
Well,
Did he ever show up today?
he did not. And for the record, I was told that those curved plenums are already in the warehouse.
No, they're not. Not those curved plenums. An ass load of other curved plenums are, but not those ones. So, go ahead to your 3D view.
Do that from up here.
Yep, that's the one. Then we'll have to all be a little bit patient because I'm sure they didn't give her a racing machine. Oh, what the heck happened? You might have to share your screen again. Did you crash?
No.
That's weird. I don't know why. Sometimes it kicks out. It's done that to Tyler too a couple times. See if you can show your screen again.
Are you sharing the entire screen? Or just a window?
I usually share the whole screen. There are two different effects. If you don't share the screen, Tyler, what ends up happening?
Those pop-ups don't show.
Those pop-ups don't show. Correct. All right,
Yeah.
she's got it back. All right, Ginger, you got your Revit open?
No.
What happened?
Mm,
Did it crash?
No. It moved.
It moved. You moved it. All right. So, do you know where we're talking about looking at? It's going to be the lower left-hand corner of the building. It's that big round bar. You know where the big large bar is, right?
That's Casino Bar, isn't it?
Yep.
From what Jason said today, that thing's got to go up another 8 inches, and I don't see it happening.
What's got to go up another 8 inches?
At Casino Bar.
The one where we're doing the diffusers?
Yep.
That shouldn't. There should be room for that secondary grid under there. All right. What we're looking for is that not that ring. That's not the circle. It's going to be north of there. Keep going up the page a little bit. Now it's right in the corner of your screen, up by the word 3D. That's the circular soffit we're looking for. All right, you know what that means. You changed something. When you clicked, you accidentally dragged and moved something. Looks like you moved that piece of equipment. This is another one of those things, like we were warning you earlier. You guys got to be extra careful because people are trying to give you some work to do, and the last thing they want to do is lose work that they've already done. So you got to be real careful, because if you click and drag with the clicker instead of the roller wheel, you don't pan, you move an object. And sometimes it'll give you that warning, and sometimes it'll just move all the grid lines
Or one grid line.
or one Revit link. Now you double clicked on that roller wheel. Try to get yourself into that circular bar we're looking at so we can get it dimensioned. And I promise it won't be as painful. This is the reason that I wanted you to work on families, is because your computer stinks. All right, you remember which bar it was? Up in the corner.
Over here.
Nope, not that far. Not that far. The one right there. That's it. And we want to see the inner circle. We want to see one of those diffusers on the inner circle. And we're going to pick on one of those diffusers with the little arrow coming out. And we're going to say, edit family. Nope, not that. Go up onto that's it. Now, this is where you said you couldn't pick it. Now, what you have to do is a tab and then pick. You'll see when you do the tab, instead of you having a blue button, nope, do another tab. That's what you need. Pick. I know it's tricky. That's a lot of picks. You got to pick, the tab, the roller wheel, and the left click. You need to pick that one. Click on your screen.
When you
There
say
you
pick,
go.
you mean left click, right?
No, yeah, pick is left click. You're right. Right click is reset. So at the top of your screen now, on the contextual menu, it says edit family. The contextual tab is the icons at the end, right? That's where I want you to go. Now, all we need to do is get some dimensions and take a snippet of it. So, in order to get the dimensions, I don't know if you remember what we did with Tyler that night, but you go to the reference level. Yeah.
The fourth one.
That's it. That's it. Double click on that. And this is where you're trying to dimension this thing with the radius, the arc length, the size of the box. Let me find out what it is, and I'll share my screen with you. Hold on, I'm finding it. Oh, I still had it open from Tyler. That's how you know you ain't doing any work.
Now, when I say they believe they got it, they believe they got it. And I showed him what we did last night, but he didn't care to look at it.
Yeah, well, that don't surprise me. He will. And listen, I like to let people find out whether they're right or wrong. I got no problem with that.
I'm on the same page.
You see those dimensions right there, Ginger?
Yes.
That's what I need you to put on your dimensions. Okay?
Okay.
So, first one, the easiest one, is probably that radius one. So go to annotate and dimensions. And you're going to do a radial dimension.
Phew.
See which one that one is?
I'm
Circle.
blind.
You're fine.
This
Yep. That's it. And you're going to pick that bottom arc. And you'll click on it one time and then click on it another time in the white space to accept it. The bottom one. Come down a little bit. That's it. Now move over a little bit to white space and click somewhere in there. Not straight up and down. There you go. Right there. That's good. Now what you'd find is if you zoom down, way out, you're going to find a piece of text is down there with a blue dot. And you might want to bring that blue dot text up closer to the picture so that when we get our snippet, we get that radius dimension.
The blue dot.
Yep, click and drag. Move it up closer to the, all the way up to where the arrow is. Yep, somewhere in there. Usually we don't put it on top of the dimension line, but you can. Zoom into there.
Oh, I'll put it on there.
Take that. Do a double escape to get out of that dimension radio. You guys are you're gonna be so used to that escape command by the time it's all said and done, or the escape key. So now we got to go annotate. We got to do some more dimensions. We're gonna do some line dimensions.
Just
Align, the first one. Yep. All right, and we're gonna click from the little tiny end, little piece. The little tiny, that little guy right in there. Yep, that one. And go to the other side. This is called the chord length. Okay. Generally, we don't make our dimensions on top of another dimension. So that would be where later on you'll try to pull that 25 off of there. We just want to, we usually want to put our dimension in a clear space. You just want to get in that habit. It's not do or die. If the guys in the field can read it, they can read it. But if you're working for designers, they're real picky about that kind of stuff. All right, the next aligned dimension that we've got to draw is called the rise. Okay, can you are you on one screen or two?
two.
All right, so if you're still seeing that StreamYard, you're going to see this rise. We need to draw a little line right here that goes from that end of that tip to the other end of the tip so that we can dimension from the top of the curve to here. Now, it's not going to be near that extreme. It's going to be probably like fractions of an inch. So if you could draw a line, annotate a line. There you go. Symbolic line. It's after the dimension commands. And you snap a line on the end of that little piece. You got it. Yep. Go over to the other end. There you go. You see how that purple square means it's the end point, and it says end point. Once you've done that, double escape. Go back to your dimension and dimension from that line to the face of that curve.
Back to dimension.
Yeah, annotate. Aligned. Pick the line. And then the face of that curve. That's it. That's it. You can't dimension to the other thing. The other thing is a dimension line that's in there. All right. Pull that over so it's off the text. Yep. And after you place it, grab its little blue dot and slide it over till you see a little arc pointing to it. There you go. Not that far. Keep it close to the dimension. About like that. It's about, there's actually a sweet spot where you want to snap. I was trying to show Tyler that the other night. Did you just feel it right there? You see how that's the elevation you're supposed to put it at. Usually we like to put that a little bit closer, but that's 100% up to the user or up to the person who's stamping the drawing. That's our rise. You got the chord length, so you need the angle. In order to dimension to the angle, we got to go back to the annotate line. Annotate, symbolic line. Snap to that same little corner point we did before. Now this is a tricky one because the center of that radius is real far off the screen. So what you're going to actually do is type in SC for snap to center. And then you're going to go hit that bottom arc.
The bottom mark.
Yep, that was it. That's it. You were on it. the curve. I don't see your mouse anymore. Up, yeah, up a little bit. That right there. Uh-huh. Now go to the other end point of the line like you did last time. See, this time we drew a point in the middle of the line or in the middle of the circle. So click that, escape 2 times and zoom out. And what you're going to see is we just drew a triangle. See that triangle that we drew? All that goes back to the center of that circle that we're dimensioning. So this would allow you to have the angle, right? Nope, not aligned. Angular was the next one over.
Angular.
Yep. And now you could pick those 2 lines that you're drawing at a triangle shape.
Anywhere?
Yep. Pick.
I don't know why it's not doing it.
Pick on it
Yeah, it won't do it.
with your left click.
What I'm using.
Hit escape 2 times. Let's try it again. All right, go to angular again. Pick on the line. Now pick on the other line.
The
That's
middle
not a
one.
line. That's a dimension. That's a line. There you go. Pan up on your screen. Get that close to the drawing. Stay in the middle. There you go. A little bit higher. A little bit higher so we can read it. You don't want your snippet to be too far out. And click. Always got to click to accept those dimensions. Double escape to get out. The only one we got left, we got the rise. The only one we got left is the arc length, which I think I should let Tyler tell you how to do that one. Zoom in real close to the arc.
That's the one I struggled with last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one you struggled with. Zoom in more, zoom in more. Fill that thing right to the screen. There you go. All right, so let's go to arc length.
It's under annotate again. Yep.
All right, now you pick that bottom curve.
Click it in the middle.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, is this not the one where you had to click in the middle then the ends?
Now click on the end point of the line, the end point of that curve. Nope, the other end. You'll see a little dot appear. Zoom in. All right. Tab. Hit the tab button. That's it right there. Pick. Now go to the other end. And hit the tab. Nope, you're not at the corner. There you go.
There
That's
it is.
it.
Oh, you had it.
And click. Zoom out so you can see where you're placing the arc length. I might go up above the whole object and on the inside. There you go. There you go. Now, if you took a snippet of that, or you could save this so that you could show them, those are the dimensions they need to fill out on that form.
Mhm.
Jason claims they contacted Spencer for this information.
Well, the problem is I don't think it was for those ones. I'm telling you, there's a lot of curves.
I tried telling him too, but
I know that Paul sent that PDF without all that information 2 weeks ago when we were asking about it. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and do file and new and make a new project. No. Oh yeah, that worked. Where it says construction template, don't ever use that one. Always use the architectural or the mechanical or the, and ironically, I mean, I know you guys aren't going to be diving into it, but it's weird that they don't have an electrical template. But if you were doing an electrical job, what you do is you'd hit the browse button. See the browse button right next to that? Hold down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You would hit that and you would use that electrical default if you were going to do an electrical job. That's going to help you those first couple years to get a lot of the settings that is going to take you a while to master. In the end, so what I want you to do is go ahead and hit cancel on that and pick that architectural tab. There you go. That's the one I always start from. So go ahead and into systems tab and let's draw a piece of pipe. Tyler, try to keep up with her what we're doing. Oh, you don't have your second screen yet, do you? Makes
Nope.
it hard to keep up and watch, doesn't it?
I'm just gonna watch for now. I'm getting the second screen tomorrow probably, and my desk is ordered, so it should be here
Just
late
go to
next week.
Walmart and get one, you dummy.
I'm
Go.
going tomorrow.
Draw a pipe. So when we draw a pipe, first thing we want to do is look what type of pipe we're drawing. We happen to be drawing one called pipe type default. Okay? If you scroll down in the properties just a little bit, you're going to see we're drawing a hydronic supply. If you hit where the word hydronic supply is, you will see an arrow will come up. Click on there. Click on there. See that little arrow? That's going to show you the different types of pipe systems that you have. This can never be deleted, okay? Those pipe systems are in every file. It drives architects mad. They're like, I'm trying to make my file smaller, and I don't want this fire protection lights. Well, they're system families. We can't get rid of system families. We have to have at least one of that type system family. So what I'm trying, and I'm sort of setting you up. Now I want you to go draw a piece of pipe. So you're good with hydronic supply. Go click on the screen and draw. All right, not bad. Now, do you remember where I said was like the speedometer area of your Revit file? It says right now that you're drawing a 6-inch diameter pipe at 9 foot high, right? And we know what type of pipe, the default type, and it's a hydronic supply. So go ahead and put a click. And it's not visible. All right. Also, it's even going to be worse than that. As you go to the left, you're going to find that is, you see how it has that little no smoking symbol?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you try to click another click, it's going to tell you can't do it. Go ahead and do it a click somewhere. Gonna warn you can't do it. That's what that no smoking symbol means.
Mm.
All right. So click.
I'm clicking.
You're clicking?
Yep.
All right, you gotta hit double escape to get out of the command. So now, where's that pipe at? Why didn't we see that pipe? Okay, because that pipe was drawn at 9 foot. So I'm trying to get you into the view range. So if you go look at the properties, you'll actually note the properties. That's right. It's going to be in there. It's going to be the view range. It's actually right now at the bottom of your list. Right there, your cursor just went past it. There's edit. You see that edit? That's the view range. You see where your top plane is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if that pipe's above that number, it ain't going to show. So if you made that 10 feet, you would find the pipe that didn't show. Okay. Pipe didn't show. Have any idea why? Let's do a VV and see if pipes are turned on. Pipes are turned on. That's good. That's good. How about checking the filters too? No, it's on there.
Here.
Across the tabs. Not the filters. It's not the visibility and graphics. We got to figure out why we can't see that pipe. So I'm pretty sure I know the reason. Hit cancel. If you go to the properties and scroll up to where it says architectural discipline and change that to coordination. Yep. Does that make it show? Go to white screen. There you go. Why is it a single line? You remember? Detail level. That's down by the scale. It's that first button by the scale. Next one over. Other way. That one right there, change that to be fine. And then you'll see that pipe as the size that it actually is. If you turn this into a shaded view, you know how to turn it into a shaded view?
Down here somewhere.
Yeah, right. That's right. I'm just trying to get you comfortable with the zones that we go to, right? Oh, that's beautiful. Black. Because that was this type of pipe that it was. Okay. Now, normally, if we had a piece of pipe and we wanted to extend it to draw some more, we could pick that pipe. And right click right over top of that little dot and say draw pipe. See all those things right there? See, that's a very important click to do. And click. And the moral of the story is if you don't start with a mechanical template, you don't have a good pipe style. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Hit escape 2 times. Pick on that pipe. Pick on it, select it, go to edit type.
Where's edit type?
Nope, right below the properties, right there. You're there. Nope, right below that. No, you unselected it. Select the pipe and then do the exact same button. You were editing the type of view. Understand that type is always there. And what's happening to you is you see the routing preferences and the edit. Go ahead and hit that. This is where we get to tell it what type of elbows to use. Are they threaded elbows? Are they socket welded elbows? What are they? And unfortunately, your elbow says none. The one before it, the none before it is the one you would want to pick.
Which one?
The right under the word elbow, there's a word none. You're picking none for size. You're doing the minimum size and the maximum size. We want to do the elbow type.
So where's type?
Right underneath the word elbow. Directly under the word elbow, it says none. That's it. That's the spot. Now pick that one and see if there's any elbows in this project, and there's not. See, what happens is if there's none available there, that's because you started from a bad template. All right, so I want you to cancel all the way out. I want you and anyone who watched this to understand, because I have had so many architects say, well, I can draw walls and roofs and elevators and escalators and doors and all kinds of stuff. I just want to draw some pipe in my job. And you can't draw a pipe because that template doesn't give you all the things you need to draw that pipe. So instead, go to your file, new, and let's use a mechanical template and we'll see what happens. So now when you draw that pipe, systems, there you go. There you go. Uh-huh. Now draw up. Right? All right, let's change our view to a fine detail. Let's zoom in there and you'll see that it put an elbow in there. See? Now, if I pick that pipe, pick one of those pipes, right click, because this is typically how you would do it in a project. Because if you just think you're always going to go to that pipe command that you know underneath systems, what's going to happen is you're not going to be drawing the right type of pipe. Because you know we got like copper, we got the hydronic lines, we got the domestic cold lines, we got there's different types of pipe. So normally what we do is we say create similar. And now what happens is if you snapped on that pipe somewhere, you would see it would snap to it. Nope, not at the end. I want you in the middle somewhere. Click and draw up and watch. It's going to put a T in that thing for you. Pretty cool. And if we go to draw to the right, but before we draw to the right, we say, oh, the pipe's going to get smaller here. So let's change the diameter to 3 inches. Go where the diameter is. That's it. In the speed limit area. You got it. Change that to 3. Watch what happens when you draw. It's going to put an elbow and a reducer, and yours is going to do a little bit crazier, put a little wacky elbow. But you see how it reduced the size of the pipe. Okay? Got it?
Yep.
And if we were to pick that one and do create similar. Create similar. Now, I'm going to want you to pick on the large pipe because that's like a manifold, like we normally do. Not at the end. You wouldn't be able to connect 2 pipes at the end, would you? But listen, before you pick on it, it escaped one time. You're still in the command. Do you see where you changed it to 3 inches? I want you to change the height of this one to 8 foot high. Nope, you'd have to type in 8 and enter. 8 is a whole number is feet. If you wanted inches, you would do 0 space 8, and that would have been 8 inches. You're good. Now go click on that pipe and that big main pipe and draw from it. You missed it. You got to stay on that edge, or more appropriately, the center. Go to the center of that's what you want to draw from. Now go a direction and watch what it's going to do. And click. All right, you know what it did there? It tapped out of the bottom of that big pipe, went down 1 foot, and then started drawing that guy. So let's go look at our 3D. Pick on the house up in the top corner, in the top buttons, and let's go look at that. Let's change it to fine detail and shaded so you can see it. And zoom in there to that couple pieces of pipe you drew. You see how that put that pipe, connected it, turned the T down.
Yep.
Made that adjustment.
Cool.
So
Got a question.
Sure.
When you use shaded, is that most of the time the only view you use? Because I haven't heard you mention much of the other ones.
I never use the realistic. It's just not worth it. It slows your computer down too much.
Okay.
A lot of times we'll use the hidden line, the black and white drawing. Okay.
Gotcha.
but I typically use the shaded. I think it makes the stuff pop off the page so much more so that you can see where the work is. If you look at a typical engineering drawing so often, you can't tell the difference between the walls and the door and the pipe. And you can draw in this view too, Ginger. And what I want you guys to do is I want you to try to draw some pipe and some duct. Okay? I want you to play with the parallel pipes. I want you to play with the pipe accessories. You want to try a pipe accessory? Zoom in there because you've drawn a pipe. So if you zoomed in, you can put a pipe accessory in that thing. What is a pipe accessory? Well, that's going to be a valve, a gauge, and it's going to pop up and it's going to say, you don't have any pipe accessories. And you say, yes, I'd like to load one. All right. So now we're in the standard U.S. English library, U.S. Imperial. So if you went down to pipe, inside of pipe, there's going to be pipe accessories. And there's some of the accessories they've given you. Now that air scoop, I don't know about the air scoop, but you could try one of those. I didn't see any valves. Why did I not see any valves? Put back one. Yep, that one there. You got it. There you go, valves. Right? Then you can pick a 3-way valve or a ball valve. Oh, I like a ball valve. And there's a 2 to 6 inch ball valve. Okay? So that's telling you that this valve family is written to go into pipes 2 inches to 6 inches. So pick on that. Now, if you go put that in your pipe, it's going to be putting a 2-inch pipe or a 2-inch valve in there. So go ahead and give it a try. And what you're going to see is it's going to put a reducer at either end of that. Try to hit it right in the middle of the pipe. It's not intended to snap on the end. It's intended to break into the pipe. Pick on it. See how it breaks in? And you see how it puts the reducer on there. See, so that would be a mistake because try to put another one in real quick.
Like on the end?
Go down to the other side where you have more pipe. There you go. I like that. Put one in up there. Fine. All right. Now hit double escape. What's happened is you put in a 2-inch pipe or a 2-inch valve. Pick on that valve and make that a 4-inch valve. Up in the properties. That's it. Nope. Look at the thumbnail thing. It says 2 to 6 inch, 2-inch, and you want to put a 4-inch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What size was that pipe actually?
3.
Pick on it. Pick on it. Was it a 3? It was a 3. Did they have a 3-inch valve?
I think so.
See if you can put the 3-inch valve because this is an important lesson. See if they got a 3-inch. There you go. All right, here's the magic thing that happens. If you delete that valve, it'll heal the pipe. To try it. So if you go hit that valve and go delete, watch what happens when you hit the delete.
Kinda.
Your delete key on your keyboard works. Also at the top, there's a little red X for delete. See how that pipe fixed itself?
I
Go
do
down
not
to-
like that.
Go down to the other valve and delete it and watch what happens. Delete it. You would think it would do the same thing, but no, it's going to leave those 2 reducers and leave the broken pipe.
What made it act different between the two?
Well, because that reducer is a pipe fitting of its own. So by you not putting the right size valve in the pipe, think about how stupid that would be if, don't you think Dustin would laugh his ass off at you if you told him to put a 2-inch valve in a 4-inch pipe? Right?
I've seen it done before.
Well, it absolutely can be done. But the big thing to understand is when you're designing, when you're working on the job, it becomes a real nightmare because it starts breaking that pipe when you got to go delete that valve and move that valve to another location. Because, and why might we need to go move that valve? You have any ideas? Because see, the engineer just said, I just need a valve in there. I don't care where it is. But he put it right over the elevator lobby that's got a hard ceiling. Whereas if I move that valve over a 6 pipe, then it's over a drop ceiling. Then I don't need an access panel to access that valve.
Yep.
Right? Then you're saving money in construction. You don't have that access panel. You don't have the time involved, the labor involved. The architect doesn't like access panels in the first place. We have to move valves all the time. Now, what I was trying to get you to understand is how that thing reacts if it's drawn the wrong size. Now, my goal is I've figured out how to make families that will automatically, instead of you having to go pick, when it hits the pipe, it reads the pipe and says, oh, this is a 4-inch pipe, so I'm putting a 4-inch valve in there. And to be honest with you, that's one of those families that I think we could give away to people. And they would be like, oh my God, if I would have had this 5 years ago, I could have taken multiple vacations because of the time that I've lost doing this. Okay. Why I wanted to throw that point home, man.
Are
Who
you
knows?
able to turn off that self-healing in the pipe?
No,
Gotcha.
no. When it's a breaks into family, and you know, by all means, we're getting a little deep right now for you guys, but I don't want you to not ask the questions. I don't think you have to master the software in order to see the real results, but I don't think you're going to really gain a lot from me saying, no, there's not most people don't even realize, and ironically, you remember we were talking earlier about the select all instances?
Mm-hmm.
Mike was going nuts because he was leaving those little reducers all over the place on a job because of how he was deleting things. He wasn't seeing the reducers in plan view. So when he would delete the stuff in plan view, that little reducer would be left behind. And ironically, on this job, the engineers had the exact same problem. Well, what Mike did on the job was he said, man, that thing's such a pain in the ass. I'm just going to pick on it and delete all of those instances. And everywhere where my pipe actually had reducers in it, it was now broken pipe because the reducer was missing. And that was a good 6-hour change. Yep, it's a good idea to draw the flex. See, because that's where I'm thinking you guys got tomorrow and maybe a little bit on Sunday. Try to get an hour or two in to drawing the duct accessories, the duct fittings. Come back to me with good questions on Sunday night's class so we can really deep dive into the systems. Okay? Don't be afraid to try to figure out how to draw the multiple pipes. What are you drawing? A snake?
It's probably going to be a couple clicks. You're going to need 3 clicks to finish it, I think.
Nope. You need a left click to finish, or a right click to.
Oh yeah, you just need 2 clicks and then or connect it. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I was asking about the self-healing, though, is because I would almost, because I'm still new to the software, I would almost want to use the wrong size valve, so in case something accidentally got deleted, I would know, hey, there used to be a valve there.
Yeah.
You just pull up your old backgrounds.
That's what I would do too. That's exactly what my recommendation would be, is you would compare it to your old backgrounds. But I'll be honest, you're gonna move so quickly beyond that phase where you're scared of messing something up. Okay.
I gotcha.
You will still mess something up. Usually it's gonna be a click and a drag. That's gonna happen every now and then. You know, the sad part is people don't understand, and then they get real frustrated because they don't understand that you set yourself back.
Right.
Try putting one of those elbows in there. Yep. And snap on to that standard elbow Any one of the elbows, standard elbow, snap on the end of the pipe. That's it. It's gonna snap it on the end of that pipe when it changes size. There you go. Pick it. Pick. All right. Now hit escape 2 times. Actually, I shouldn't have had to hit the escape 2 times, but now pick that thing. Now look at the little icons that are there. Do you see the one with the little revolve, rotate arrow? What do you think that's going to do?
Spin it.
Click
Turn
on it.
up and down.
Turn it up and down. Now you got to go pick it again if you wanted it to turn the other direction. Yep. There it is. It sort of jumps around as you go. Now it's down on the bottom of the page. And then it would be turned up. Right? And what about the number 3 that's up there in blue? What if we made that a number 2? What do you think that's going to do? Click on it. Just click right on the number 3. Right on the number 3. And then you put in a 2. And it's going to make it a 2-inch elbow. It's going to put a reducer in there and make it a 2-inch elbow. That makes sense?
Yep.
Now, the truth is that Revit was never really intended for you to draw pipe like I'm asking you to draw pipe. What it was intended for you to do is to put some mechanical equipment in there and to put some, if let's say the mechanical equipment is a hot water heater. It was then looking for you to put in all of your sinks and connect all of your sinks to your hot water heater, and then it would run all of that stuff. And if you don't have the one you're looking for, what you do is you go to load family. No, don't hit that X. Oh boy,
shoot.
I don't know how you're gonna get that one back.
I do. I'm done.
That is the most annoying one to get back there ever was, right, Eric?
We just talked about it yesterday, I think.
Did you?
No, you and I did. Because I was saying you can't get it to dock correctly.
Oh, look at that! It came right back in the right spot. You got lucky.
We got real lucky.
You better keep drawing and drinking tonight after we hang up.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that had to find that button.
You know
I found that button a long time ago.
You know, if you have to find it, just right click right now on your screen. Right there and there. The last one on the list is properties.
Wow.
You can just turn that off and on.
Yeah, like I said, everything in Revit, there's at least 6 or 7 different ways to do it. Have any questions? We're close. We got about 10 minutes left. I don't know that I want to go much deeper. I want you to actually play a little bit with the system, since that's the stuff you guys are really going to be using.
Okay.
Ginger, congratulations on dimensioning your diffuser. It only took you a freaking week. They don't tolerate that shit from BIM people. When they ask, they expect it done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They didn't ask, so who the fuck cares?
Well, there you go.
There you go. I'm glad you did it.
Me too. That was fun.
Play with the systems. Don't be afraid to try the conduit. Conduit's a little bit trickier because it's got to have a big old bend radius in it. And to be honest with you, most of the families, like that elbow, have you ever seen that kind of elbow in your life in the field?
No.
Right? That's where most mechanical people are gonna chew you out. What the heck is that? Well, I want a 1.5D or a 2D. That is not an elbow. That's the engineer's excuse for an elbow. We typically have to make those to be the right style. And then that's where what we would do is, if you picked on the pipe, pick on your pipe once. And remember what we tried to do in the architectural mode? I want you to go edit the routing preferences. So that's where we go edit type and then edit routing preferences. Yeah, I agree, Tyler. I'm a little bit yawny myself. I forgot to drink tonight. Up at the top, there's a button, routing preferences and edit. Oh, now you hit it from us. And you see where it says elbow generic standard? If you pick, there's probably some other. There's a welded elbow, and that would be a more realistic elbow. And say okay, and okay. And now what you'd find is if you started drawing some more pipe that connected into that, you can do it in here. So pick one of the small pipes and say create similar. Create similar. Go snap on that big pipe. Oh, that'll work there too. And draw. See what it did is it just dropped that 1 foot because you're still drawing at that 8-foot location. And what you're going to see is now you should get a more realistic elbow. Can you rotate that a little bit? Yep, that's a more realistic elbow, believe it or not. That's a welded elbow. You'd have to rotate your screen, shift and pan, shift. Hold your shift key down and use your pan wheel.
Wow.
Now, if it's going off the screen, what you want to do is pick the elbow and then do that shift and roller wheel. And what it's going to do is it's going to rotate around whatever object you got selected. Yeah, pick one. You got to get object blue. Now do your shift and your roller wheel, and notice it won't go off the page on you. See how it's rotating it around there?
Yep.
You feel the difference?
Yes.
See anything that scares you? Is there any reason you can't draw some pipe and some duct?
No.
Oh, good. Try to draw a little bit of pipe and duct. You were doing good with what you were doing, Tyler. Why don't you draw some pipe and some duct? Maybe don't forget your air lines. You're going to have an air compressor and you want a couple spots where you plug into those air lines. Try to draw a bathroom. Draw a riser. Show me what you know about risers. Show me what you know about, right? You got the sanitary line, but then we've got a vent line that comes off of there. You got a domestic hot and domestic cold. The hot would go over to the hot water heater, and the cold would probably go somewhere in the corner of your building where you're going to connect into the main. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Questions? Well, enjoy your day off tomorrow. I forgot. I didn't even check. I think we got like 19 more hours of these streams that we can do, and then I'm going to have to up my tally. So probably next week, Tyler, I'm going to give you that credit card number. We're going to start to get that domain going.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
I'm sorry I was so pissy this week. It's been a hard personal week for me.
It's all good.
All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful Friday night. What's left of it. Don't be afraid to stay up to 2 or 3 a.m. drawing in Revit. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's always easier to do that when they're actually paying you for it. Hey, you guys have a good night. Just stay with us. We should be rounding up Revit by the end of next week. And then, like I said, all you guys need is a little bit of click time, and I would certify you. All right?
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys doing this, and who knows, maybe this stuff will take off. If nothing else, at least maybe you guys can get to drawing in Revit. Because I know Century's going to need someone when I head to Montana. You laugh. Don't laugh too hard. I'm not lying.
You're going to have to send us pictures.
Oh, yeah.